Hello and welcome to another edition of Geffen Digital Signage QuickVids. My name is Jason Fitzgerald. I'm the product manager for Geffen Digital Signage. And what we're going to talk about today is the pushing and pulling functions of the Geffen Digital Signage Creator. Now what we're talking about here is how we're going to get content from our computer onto the Digital Signage Creator, which is deployed out in the field or on our own network. So there are really three main modes of getting content onto the DSC. The first is to push content, the second way is to pull content, and the third is a hybrid or what we call a server function. And today we're just going to talk about the push and the pull modes because those are two of the main ways of getting content onto the box. So let's first take a look at the push mode. If you saw the previous Geffen QuickVid, we went over very briefly on how to upload content. So we'll just kind of go over those basic concepts, but what we need is we need to have two tabs open to do this. One, we need to have a My Projects tab, which I'll go ahead and double click right now and open. So this is where we'll have access to our actual physical project files. We'll also need access to a My Devices tab, so we can actually see our devices. So I've got a number of those devices already here that are on my network. And so once I have these two tabs open, and remember, if you want to create a new tab, you can click this button here, which will open up a new tab that takes us to our default workspace and then dive into a folder. So what we're going to do the upload, I'm going to go ahead and dive into the My Projects tab and grab a project, all right? Drag it over the My Devices tab, which will open it up, and then just simply drop it onto a device. As you can see here, the publishing project window is open. It's already done. And now this project has been published to this box and is now currently running. All right, I'm going to click OK to close that down. Now what we've done is physically done an upload from my computer to the device using a simple drag and drop operation. Now what we've done here is also now enabled the ability to use the Quick Publish function. The Quick Publish function is a very fast way of uploading a project to a box or boxes that it uploaded to last. So you first have to do this drag and drop publish or this drag and drop operation to make sure that the project knows what box it had uploaded to last. So once we do it for the first time for a project, we'll have this button available, and if I modify something in my project, I can simply click on this button and it'll republish that project with any changes that we've made. Of course, we have the ability to group boxes, and that gives us the ability to upload content to multiple units at the same time. And for that, you can always take a look at our last quick vid, which shows us how to create a folder and then group a whole bunch of boxes together. But what I want to talk about here quickly is the pull mode. Right, so the pull mode allows us to pull content into the DSC on an automated schedule. So in this function right now, what we're talking about pushing, I'm physically sitting here and I'm initiating that push or that content upload to the boxes, whether it be by quick publish or by drag and drop. In a pull mode, the devices out in the field are going to go ahead and pull the content into its internal memory from some remote location. Now, where is this remote location? Well, this remote location has to be from a WebDAV server. If you're not familiar with WebDAV, WebDAV is basically an HTTP extension. It's a very smart protocol that allows us to, for example, it carries information about directories, what's in those directories, and we utilize WebDAV to do smart pulling of content. So, for example, when a pull is initiated by a DSC box, a resource list is created of what it's trying to pull. There is already a resource list of what's on the box. The two get compared, and only the items that have changed will be pulled into the box. So if we've got a 2 GB project and we've only changed, for example, a single image, when it goes to pull content, it's going to know that the only thing that changed was that image. And it'll just download, let's say, a new image or whatever has changed. So to set up pull mode, we'll first need to configure our device. Now to do that, I'm just going to go ahead and navigate to My Devices tab, right click on a box and choose the Manage option. What that's going to do is open up the web configuration interface in my default browser. So if you've ever accessed a router previously in the past, maybe by its IP address, putting that into your browser, this basically functions the same way. If you know the IP address of the box, you can simply type that into your browser and it should automatically locate the web interface for the Digital Signage Creator. So we've got our status window open already here. What we want to do is navigate to the pull mode. when the pull mode pane opens up here on the right, you'll notice we've got really three main options to utilize for pulling. We have a manual setting, which allows us to once a day have the DSC check a location for content. We can upload or create a specifically formatted iCal or iCalendar file to do custom pull schedules, or the third option, which is to use that same custom iCal file remotely or sourced from a remote location. That gives us a lot of flexibility. So let's talk about these one by one. The manual setting allows me to pull that content from a specified location. So to do that, I just simply have to checkmark this box, which enables the pull function. And I specify a project source or a project location. In this case, I already have it pointing to a HTTP server that I've got currently residing on my network, and it's actually here now hosting my project files. All right, there's a time function here which lets me specify that time as to when the DSC will go ahead and pull the content from this location. So once at midnight, it'll check for content. If there's new content, it'll download. If there's not new content, then it won't do anything. This option here, which will automatically upload log files from the digital signage creator, will allow us to upload the log files that we store inside of the box to a remote location. So we have the ability to pull in accounting logs. So when we tag media assets inside of the software for accounting, what we're doing is saying, okay, well, maybe we've got an advertiser's video. We tag it, it'll show up in the accounting logs, and then I can generate an invoice at a later date, billing that customer for their advertising space that they possibly have bought in on our project. So we can choose to upload just those accounting log files, or all of the log files, which include the JavaScript log files or the warning log files. The next option here, which is to upload from an ICS file. We will utilize this option when we've created a custom iCalendar or a custom ICS file that specifies when and how often we'll be performing that pull function. We can have it set to pull every hour. We can have it set to pull every 10 minutes, or maybe only once a week. We have full control when we utilize an iCal file for this function. And to use this, we just select the option. We can click on the choose file, which will open up a browser window where we can select that ICS file, which will then be downloaded into the DSC. Now, let's say we may not know how often we want this to upload or pull. For example, we may want it to upload every hour, and it turns out at a later date, we want to change that to upload it maybe only once a day. Well, we can, of course, use an ICS file from a remote location. We can specify the path to that ICS file, and then if we have access to it, we can then modify the ICS file, and then the device, based again on a schedule, we can go ahead and have it check this location we have programmed into here for any changes to that ICS or schedule file. Once we click apply, that's it, we're all done. The DSC at the appropriate time will then go ahead and check the location for the project and then download it. If, for example, we're using a secure WebDAV server, and I definitely would recommend this to keep things secure, we can, of course, put in specific credentials to access a secure location. So if I go into the network settings and click on the credentials tab here, I can put in the path to wherever it is the DSC is trying to download content from, and enter the proper username and password so the DSC has that access to the secure location to do the pull operation. All right, so we've talked about pushing mode briefly, and we've definitely talked about the pull mode functions. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.